Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. There's some news right now. It looks like the US and the UK are about to strike Yemen and the Houthis. So here we have USA Today. USA attack on Yemen rebels imminent, reports say. Houthis not backing down. Live updates. So I'm very interested in this because this could escalate things in the Middle East. Now, I would imagine that they would be measured in what they do in the sites that they attack, because the U.S. and the UK are obviously aware of the potential for escalation and don't want that. But nevertheless, by carrying out these strikes, it could escalate things. And I have some things to share with you in some of these articles just to get you up to speed if you don't know at all what I'm talking about. You should know that there's a war in Israel going on right now. And Israel has said that, excuse me, it is currently fighting a 7-front war between Iran, not directly with Iran, but Iran, the militias in Iraq, Syria, Hezbollah in the north, the West Bank. There's been skirmishes and conflict there. And then, of course, Gaza. And then the Houthis, who decided to attack Israel. They've attacked Israel with cruise missiles and drones. And what they've been doing is they've been hijacking and hijacking ships, harassing ships, and essentially disrupting traffic through the Red Sea. Okay, because here's Yemen, and the Houthis are based out of this part of the country. And so it's been a problem. The U.S. has shot down a bunch of their rockets headed toward Israel, and there's just been problems here, and it's come to a head. And so we don't really know what's going to happen, but it looks like there's been talk about this for a while, that the U.S. has wanted to put together a coalition to confront the Houthis and get them to stop. So let me just read what I have highlighted. Amid the growing prospect of a U.S. or a coalition strike against Houthi rebels who have repeatedly attacked merchant ships in the Red Sea, their leader's message can be summed up as "bring it on." That might happen sooner than he expects. British media are reporting Prime Minister Rishi Sunak briefed his cabinet Thursday about a joint military action with the U.S. against the Houthis, which London Times political editor Stephen Swinford reported on the X platform, is expected to occur tonight. And I actually have his X account pulled up. So there's a couple things. This is from an hour ago from the time that I'm recording this. Okay, the first one. Breaking. Joe Biden, the U.S. president, is expected to make a statement tonight in the wake of military strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The strikes are expected shortly, with a series of carefully choreographed statements from the U.S., the U.K., and other international allies to follow. And then the more recent one, he says, breaking, Rishi Sunak will not recall Parliament tomorrow to discuss the British military intervention against Houthi positions in Yemen, which is expected to take place tonight. It means that there will be no debate or discussion in Parliament until Monday. Picking up disquiet about this already. Okay, so back to the article. Okay, let's scroll down. That's actually from this article. We go to Business Insider. The U.S. gave the Houthis a final warning. The Iran-backed rebels answered with their biggest ever missile and drone attack. Oh, that's very smart. The U.S. appeared to give the Houthi final warning to stop their attacks on international shipping. Days later, the Iran-backed rebels launched their biggest missile and drone attack yet. The assault was followed by more warnings from the West, then another Houthi attack on Thursday. So they're playing with fire. The Guardian, U.S. and UK prepare to launch strikes against Houthis in Yemen. Britain and the U.S. are poised to launch strikes against Houthi military targets in Yemen as the leader of the rebel group promises to respond to any assault with fresh attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. So he's basically an insane person. And here's a map. Vessel reported incidents in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden from the 19th of November until the 12th of January, 2024. Because, it's now the 12th of January in some parts of the world. And so here's a map. You can see lots of problems right here. The red is in January, and then the blue is November and December. And of course, the war in Israel started in October, but it wasn't long until the Houthis decided to join in. In response, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, the leader of the Iran-backed group, which controls the north and west of Yemen, said on Thursday that if struck, the Houthis would fight back, suggesting any conflict in the Red Sea would be extended. Quote, any American attack will not remain without a response. The response will be greater than the attack that was carried out with 20 drones and a number of missiles, end quote. Al-Houthi said in a televised address, and then continuing, we are more determined to target ships linked to Israel, and we will not back down from that, he added. This is crazy. So my question is, what happens then? Like, is this going to turn into a war, like its own war? I don't know what's going to happen. Experts believe that U.S., U.K., and other Western allies are most likely to target coastal radar and launch sites in a calibrated attempt to halt the 3-month spate of Houthi missiles and drone attacks in the busy Middle Eastern waterway. Let's see. But one added, any intervention was fraught with risk. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Siddharth Kaushal, an expert from the Royal United Services Institute think tank, said, quote, it depends what targets are chosen, but the Houthis have said they are not backing down. So there's the risk of sleepwalking into a protracted conflict, end quote. Any strikes likely to be from air and sea would have to be enough to act as a deterrent, the analysts added, but a wider bombing campaign added to the risk of civilian casualties and could inflame public opinion in an already volatile Middle East. The crisis in the southern Red Sea comes at a time of wider conflict in the Middle East. Israel's bombing campaign against Hamas in Gaza is in its 4th month, while tensions are worsening in the north of the country, where Israeli forces and Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon have been engaged in increasingly aggressive tit-for-tat attacks. Yeah, there's reason to believe that Hezbollah does not want to go, he does not want to get into a full-scale war with Israel, because Israel will essentially bring Lebanon to its knees. It's a country that's really struggling economically. I've heard that it's on the brink of economic collapse. So if that happened, it would essentially destroy the whole country economically. And then everybody there would be really, really upset at Hezbollah, and that would be a problem for them, obviously. But there is risk that all-out war could happen between Israel and Hezbollah. So we don't really know what's going to happen with Yemen. We don't really know what's going to happen with Hezbollah. And we don't really know how the situation in the Gaza Strip is going to play out. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of things that could go wrong in ways that things can escalate. And this is just the most recent one with Yemen. Who knows what's going to happen as a result of this? And then I just had a few other things. This is from a Shark, which is it's a news company out of the Middle East. On their Twitter account, Houthi official, if America and Britain carry out airstrikes on Yemen, the response will not be delayed at all. That's great. Here's an account called A3OB South. I'm just trusting this person's opinion. I've seen this on YouTube on another channel, but this was just easy to pull up. In other news, Yemen empties its airspace ahead of an imminent joint U.S.-UK strikes against the Houthis in a few hours. Wow, this is really not good English. So you can see that the airspace, it appears, I don't know what this regularly looks like or how much traffic comes in and out of Yemen, but you can see this is probably from flight radar. There's no aircraft over the country at the time that this screenshot was taken. Jerusalem Post. Israel-Hamas war, U.S.-UK expected to strike Houthis. Iran claims it seized U.S. tanker. 15 minutes ago, Iran-backed militias in Iraq. If Yemen is attacked, we will hit an American base. Well, what's new? There's already been a bunch of attacks from Iraqi militias as well as Syrian militias. So, but okay, so they're promising to escalate things if airstrikes take place. So American bases in Iraq. And then, did I have anything here? Houthis brace. UK cabinet meets as U.S. set to retaliate for Red Sea attacks. No, I guess no. Yeah, right here. Strikes on Houthis could come within hours, according to reports. Speculation is rampant that strikes against Yemen's Houthi rebels could be ordered overnight. Some of it seemingly based on UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak calling an emergency cabinet meeting. The political editor for the Times of London newspaper reports that Britain is expected to join the United States in conducting airstrikes on military positions belonging to the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen, quote unquote, within hours. And then we're reading from this guy, Stephen Swinford, that we looked at earlier. He says, "You don't hold an emergency cabinet meeting unless you're considering a military response. The Americans have clearly put some military options on the table and have invited us to participate." Joyce Karam of Al Monitor also reports on social media that a strike could come as early as tonight. Let's see. Update. US-UK strikes expected versus Houthis. UK emergency cabinet meeting. Strikes could be as soon as tonight. Hit Yemen coast. 27 Houthi attacks in Red Sea. Warnings, interventions failed. Disruption in response to Gaza war. Okay, so that's pretty much it. By the time I have this up, for all I know, maybe strikes will already be underway. But we'll have to keep our eyes on this and see how this affects things throughout the region and see if, this escalates the entire thing. I don't know. That's going to be it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. Like this video if you liked it. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.